I've got Heidi here, the Pomchi. Chloe, she's a Kennel Club registered Pomeranian. So you will notice on this, they are extremely dirty. And the reason that I put this on here is I see, not all, but a lot of Pom owners and just dog owners in general will do this, where they want the dogs to stay clean. You know, people won't let the dogs off the lead, and we see that a lot. And we see it especially with small breed dogs, where they get carried around in handbags or in these things that you put on your body, and they're treated a lot like little accessories. They like to sniff around because that's just something that's natural to them. It's very calming, and it stops them feeling underemployed, which is where they have excess of energy and start to do things that we might consider unwanted behaviours, because they're not allowed to exhibit what is hardwired in them to do. People might come to us with behavioural issues, which is just dog behaviour in the wrong place, and quite often it's the dog is underemployed. It's not being allowed to show any of what comes naturally to it, so it's a very restrictive lifestyle. And that would be like you being put in prison or working in an environment you didn't like. Say you're a very energetic person and you're being told you've got to be chained to your desk for 10 hours a day. It would drive you mad, because that's not the sort of person you are. So if you're a very active, so I don't know, personal trainer, and then you're put in a job where it's like you've got to sit here all day on a computer, and that's just not the way that you're wired, it would frustrate you. It would even potentially cause mental health issues, because it would be so frustrating to you. And the same thing happens with dogs. You see people that don't walk maybe a working breed often enough. They might give it half an hour, or they don't allow it to sniff. They just want it to walk on the pavement, walk to heel, just be very robotic in nature. And it's just very unrealistic of us to expect a dog to fit in always with what we want them to do, because they are individuals in their own right. They have their own wants, needs, desires, and when we don't allow them that autonomy, that's when we start to see behaviours that we don't necessarily want in our lives. It becomes inconvenient to us, and then we say the dog's a problem, when actually the dog isn't a problem at all. It's just that we're not understanding the dog. So this is why we look at people and their lives one-to-one. We look at their lifestyle, their situation, their attitude, their mindset, and then we look at the dog. And we see how those two things align, because when people come to us, it's often that those two things aren't aligning, and we can change things so that they do align. But it's being realistic as well about the fact that you own a dog. So I never understand people that have dogs and then moan about the dirt or the hair or the mess, because if you don't want that, then I wouldn't get a dog because they are dirty, they are hairy, they are messy. If you're expecting it to walk on the pavement and remain clean and not sniff and not do any of the things it's bred to do, you're going to start to see behaviours that you don't want. That might look like excessive barking or chewing or digging. These are going to show up because the dog's going to be frustrated.